Hello and welcome back to the Isle of Harris. We have just arrived in the south part of the island and we are off to explore St Clements Church. So I came to this church for the first time last time I was in Harris and I was truly blown away with it. I mean, it's not very often that you get to come into somewhere preserved like this for free. It is looked after by Historic Scotland, but it's such a great place to come into and explore. And the way that it's been maintained is, it's very rare to find somewhere like this. And it's also very, very interesting. From what I can remember, there's a crypt in here, and there's also a really nice kind of tower that you can walk up as well. And the graveyard are full of some very interesting graves. So I'm going to give you a quick tour around this beautiful church and just show you why it is such a gem and such a treasure, and why, if you were ever in the south of Harris, you should definitely come and check this place out. So this behind me is a tomb which belongs to Alistair MacDonald, who was the one who commissioned this church back in the 16th century. And apparently this tomb is one of the finest 16th century tombs in the whole of Scotland, and I'm not surprised because it has been maintained to such a high standard. And all these carvings around the tomb and everything else are beautiful. Like, I always think it's amazing how some people can just carve faces and carve things out of stone. It's the same people who carve wood and do things with chainsaws. I think it's amazing, it's very creative. But I love all this old-fashioned stonework and the carvings that go around here. It really is fascinating, like so fascinating. And despite this being the second time I've been here, I am still blown away with this church. It is so intricate, and the detail in the walls and the atmosphere within here is amazing. Just to give you some history about the carvings around here, it says many of the carvings demonstrate what was important to MacLeod in life and death. The Holy Trinity is represented above the arch enclosing the tomb. The world of the living appears on the wall inside the arch, and below, MacLeod is depicted in knight's armour. Together the images tell us much about the nature of Gaelic lordship, religion, patronage and power. Wow. What I also love about this place is it's got a real Irish feel to it, and I love Ireland. It's one of my favourite countries to go and explore, and as I've mentioned before, I'm really hoping to get over there next year. But this to me is one of the closest Irish kind of feeling places in Scotland, and it is such a treasure to come and experience it for yourself. The feelings in here, oh, I just love it. So as well as the kind of main church, there's also the kind of bell tower that you can go up. You end up in this like just a room at the top of it. But I think it's fascinating really in many ways because you get to see how small the staircases used to be in the olden days. And again, this reminds me of Ireland. It reminds me very much of Blarney Castle. These really, really thin stairways that people had to walk up in the olden days. I don't know whether people were maybe smaller in the olden days, both height-wise and weight-wise, because you have to duck so many times to get through these staircase ways without hitting your head. But again, this place is an amazing place, and to be able to explore this for free, I honestly think it's just, you just don't get free places as well preserved as this really anywhere else. And I just find this place so magical, so much to see, so much to discover. And this is just the inside of it. Outside there's a really interesting ancient graveyard with beautiful views, and I just think it is fascinating, this place. And every time I come to Harrison Lewis, I'd like to try and come here because it's just got such a lovely, lovely feel to it. It's like reliving history. And reliving all those times and hardships that people in the olden days used to go through. And I also really love religious places. I don't know what it is, but I really find religion and the past, especially how people dealt with religion and followed religion in the olden days, I find it really, really fascinating, because obviously religion was a much bigger thing back then than it is nowadays. There's not really that many religious people left within Scotland. Harrison Lewis is still quite a religious place, but compared to even 50 years ago to 100 years ago, not many people follow religions anymore, so it's quite nice to kind of come to somewhere like this and see what they did worship, what they followed, and where people came through all times of their life, whether they were happy or whether they were in need. And it really, really, in my opinion, is fascinating. I love the sound of old gates, they are so eerie. Listen to this. It just adds so much atmosphere to like historic places. what it is about old graveyards, but I always feel so content when I'm in them and so at peace with life. And this graveyard here, it's not just a beautiful graveyard. I mean, can you think of a nicer place to have a church and a burial ground than right beside the sea? So I remember finding this gravestone last year when I was here, and I often wonder whether my family, or some of my very old family, potentially were buried here. I doubt it very much, but the Grants from Forres, you never know. I think it's quite spectacular to think that at least my clan and some of my clan are buried here that came from the same town which I am from back on the mainland. So I don't know whether that's why this place feels so special to me, I really don't know, but having that little connection there and mentioning the place that my family are from, it really does make this place feel all that more special to me and all that more meaningful. I also remember seeing this tragic gravestone last year when I was here about a boy called John MacDonald who drowned through the ice at the age of 11. I really do find old graveyards fascinating, and this place for me, I don't know why, but I feel very at home when I'm at this church. I just love it. And on that note, I think I'm going to finish off this vlog here. Because I love this church so much, I wanted to make it into a vlog of its own. So, as always, thank you all again for watching. If you ever make it to the Isle of Harris, make sure you go to St Clements Church. It is well worth a visit and well worth an explore. And both times I've been here, the sun has been shining and it's been beautiful, it's been peaceful. And it just adds so much more to this church and makes it feel so much more like a fantastic place to have a burial ground and a fantastic place for worship. I will see you all again in the next episode of the Isle of Lewis and Harris series. We've just seen our first eagle of the walk. Well, that was a bucket list wildlife encounter if I've ever seen one.